Oh boy. Oh, what's that? Is it another round of Mansers? Mansers. It's Mansers. Manswers. Mansers. Welcome to the Mansers. Oh, yeah. Hello and hi to all you crazies and crack stars. Welcome to Mansers, the toxic podcast for a better tomorrow, brought to you by two toxic machismos and one person we promise who actually gives a shit. And who are we individually? Allow me to introduce you. She's quite amorous. In the fall, her hair is rumored to smell of cinnamon and allspice. She's building a nation of queens, and she's changing the game. She is Miss CTG. Welcome to the show.
That was pretty good. I received that. Thank you. That was good.
You're welcome.
The applause I've been waiting for my entire life.
A fine, handsome gentleman, known to speak the languages of poets and romantics. He's defending the realm of man by uplifting kings and sharing knowledge. Is welcome to the show.
Here. Oh my gosh. He owed us for last episode.
Right, for sure. Class
And he is a scholarly creative. He has the charm of 1,000 Cirque du Soleils and a head that shines like sundown over the Caribbean. He is B Todd, for there can be no other. Applause. Thank you.
Okay, before you go any further, I just need to know, is this your way of apologizing to us for the creep energy the last
Yeah, you gave me like bad stuff. It was hilarious. But you were
how many episodes have we gone
Kevin
through
Spacey?
where I tell you don't step on the intro and you actually physically stopped it just before the tagline?
Oh,
listeners,
shit.
I
My bad.
apologize. Let me get back
y'all.
to it, and I will answer your questions. You want them? We've got them. Mansers, because when it comes to your problems in love and life, there's a perfect mansplanation for that.
My bad. I thought you already said it.
Quickly, yes, of course I owe you guys an apology, so I thought I would S the D and, play with the C.
The fuck is S to D?
I don't want to get into it. But
no, I need an explanation. What's S to D?
Are you satisfied? That's all I want to know. Are you satisfied with your intros this week?
I very much so am. Thank you.
I think I'll be more satisfied when you S to D.
That was just metaphorical, Israel, please.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to put you on notice. We have our first special guest. Her name is Chantel Cargill. Chantel is a licensed marriage and family therapist with nearly a decade of clinical and leadership experience. She obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology from the University of Georgia and a Master of Science degree in marriage and family therapy from Valdosta State University. She specializes in marriage and family therapy, couples therapy, and maternal mental health. She is Chantel Cargill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs forever. Thank you so much for having me today. You all are amazing. I've listened to the show and just laughed my whole heart out. So I'm super excited to actually be on the show today. So thanks for having me.
We are so glad to have you.
Absolutely.
What a great way to start that off. We hope you feel the same way about us after the episode.
I will. I know I will.
Without a doubt.
Feel better knowing that she is somewhat of a fan of the show. She's a regular listener, so she knows what she's getting into when she signs up to join Mansers.
Yeah, that actually
that's
really good.
Way better.
That makes us all feel better.
For sure.
Good question, everybody.
Don't go back for me today now. Don't actually.
No.
If anything, I'm putting on. I'm extra when we have
I'm about to book my session with you already, so let's go.
Quick question, everybody. Quick question. Would you rather have a quickie every day, good sex twice a week, or great sex once a month? Let me go back and follow it again so everybody hears and follows along. A quickie every day, good sex twice a week, or great sex once a month?
Easy. A
Quickie
quickie
every
every day.
I
A
knew you
quickie
was
every
gonna
day.
say it. I knew.
Yeah, you
You would.
goddamn right.
You would.
You
'Cause
goddamn right.
sex for Israel is just a game.
It's not so much a game as it is more device used for pleasure.
Oh yeah.
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 And
Working out.
I don't want to speak for all men, but I will in saying this. No matter how terrible the sex is,
You always
that
say that.
nut is always gonna feel like a top tier nut.
See?
It's fucked up. But
Mm.
you may not like in the middle of you having sex, you may be like, this is whack. But that ending is popping. That ending is always like the Divergent series. It's
Do you know I just
I don't
watched that
think-
again
Oh, I was
this
about to say,
week? It's so
don't
funny.
know.
Go ahead.
Nobody watched those.
I
it's just-
definitely rewatched those just this week.
it's good. It's like you'd be like, oh, this is all right. Middle is not that great.
Yeah.
That ending
Yeah.
is
Okay. All
it's
right.
always gonna be here. Yeah, quickie every day for me.
Slice
Also,
of pizza.
and I do have a follow-up question. I hope I remember it after we've all gone. But
Okay.
my answer, I'm gonna go with the once a week good sex. You know,
Great. Good sex is twice a week. Great sex is once a week. Or is it
I
once
thought
a
it was-
month?
Wait, read it again. Then hold on, read
We gotta
that.
go back.
I
We
think
gotta
it's
go
once a week. Great
Yeah.
sex.
I think good sex is twice. I'm going to go back to the original post.
Okay,
Yeah.
say that
Quickie
again.
every day, good sex twice a week, or amazing sex once a week.
Wait, wasn't there one that was just a month in there?
No.
Oh, then I could have amazing sex once a week. I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
That's
I'd be
insane.
okay with that. Yeah, I can make that work.
Okay.
I'm busy.
Yeah. You got things to do, you got places to be, but a weekend of
Yeah.
sex puts you right back,
That's
gets rid of the
amazing. Okay, because I can orgasm by myself. Israel.
Yeah,
Everybody
I'm glad you can.
It's everybody's special magic trick.
Fucking special. You
If
think
you can't,
who the hell do you
can't,
think you are?
you literally
There are people who cannot. Okay, but that's a conversation
By
for another day.
themselves? That's because they're not taking time out to learn
men don't know
themselves.
what that's like.
Yeah, I've known myself since I was like 14.
Guarantee you.
Wait,
Unless
so men can
there's-
do that every single time
said
themselves?
what?
Who knows us better than us?
Yeah, I've never self-pleasured and been like, I can't get it.
Didn't
I'm
come
just
to
tired to
completion.
finish.
Huh?
Too tired to finish.
I've
Too
been
tired
stroking
too tired
for
to clean
You
up
hours.
think
after.
tired that's the problem? You think tired is the reason?
Right. We will get that nut.
Oh my gosh.
Chantal, what's your
I
answer?
tell people all the time. Go ahead.
So it's a quickie every day,
Uh-huh.
Good sex twice,
Good
or
twice a
amazing
week.
sex once.
once. Is it once a month?
It's
or
all
once a
it's all on a
week.
weekly scale.
Okay, I would say amazing sex once a week.
Mm.
I mean, if it's gonna carry me through the week,
That's
You
what
know-
I'm
Right,
saying.
woman.
Chantal, thank you. I'm so
it's
glad.
gotta
You know
carry
what?
me.
I'm already happy she's here.
Can
I'm
it?
already happy.
We are
Yeah.
the most balanced podcast in the audio-visual nation, so this
Okay.
only makes sense.
You've never had like a residual orgasm, Israel?
It's
That's
like
what. That's the
aftershock.
problem. Oh, get like 2 days later, and you just be thinking about it, be like, "Ooh,
Nah.
just get a
The
little,
fuck?
just get a
No,
little
'cause
You
you
jump."
actually
15
come
like
2
15
days
minutes.
later.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a little
insane.
jump. You get a little.
Wait a
Nah, 'cause
minute.
like 15 minutes
Wait a
after, I'd be
minute.
like, ooh, I can go again.
Are
No.
we calling this a jump or are we calling this an orgasm? Because they are two different things.
It's not
It's
an
the PQs.
orgasm. You
Okay.
get a
All
you get the it carries.
It's the
Like the
PQs.
sensation is still like you kind of tap back in. Get
I
a
mean,
little
Men get
shoo-doo-doo.
hard every morning without thinking a single thought.
Yes.
So
Hard is aroused. This is not aroused. This is like a reminder, like
of
you're
what you have?
a reminiscent
That's
of
ins-
the
Yeah, you're
That's
experience.
insane.
reminiscing. You
I
know,
wish.
I think honestly that happens because we have an emotional attachment to the experience, and so we're able to have like this emotional footprint that comes
I
back
know
to
who
us
for sure
and
has
just
that.
goes straight to the right place
Who?
when we think about it.
Who is
You have that. You
Yeah,
need all
'cause
these rules to your nut.
Yeah,
That's
she's not
insane.
in there. She's not just going through the drive-through to pick up a quick meal. She has to sit down. She has to have somebody pull out the chair. That nut has to come 7 courses later.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all these rules.
There are not that many rules. I mean, I do deserve all that. Thank you, sis. However, those are not the rules and the requirements for a good orgasm.
For your good orgasm, they are.
Is it? Go ahead, B Todd. Go ahead, Big Toddy.
Good twice a week. Because good is close enough to great once a week. Why would I just settle for once a week when I can have twice? And again, we don't require the same level of satisfaction. So
clearly,
why would you not get it every day?
2 nuts, please.
No.
2 nuts.
Why would you not get it every day then?
Because sometimes
that's exhausting. What the fuck is wrong with your people having sex every day? That shit is tiring.
I do that shit every day.
What the fuck?
3 times a day.
Don't nobody want to have disappointing sex, Israel. Because a quickie,
that's wild, bro.
It's almost always satisfy the fella.
What is it that you're looking for?
That's not always by the fella.
Good orgasm.
See, that's your problem. You got your you up here with
male expert Israel claims to think Miss CTG has a problem for being a woman.
Jesus Christ.
You said it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't know. Like if it was like optimal, like definitely like 3 times a day every day. Like if I just
3 times a day every day.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I'm not getting anything done. 3
about quickies. Are we talking about quickies or are we talking about full blown?
I'll go full blown.
3 days.
I'll go full blown.
You got time to have full blown sex 3 times in a day?
You got to remember who you're talking to is full blown to you is not full blown to them. You're not talking about the same 7 courses. You are not talking about the same 7 courses.
So I'm doing nothing else the whole day.
Full blown is just socks come off.
I already wake up early. Without socks on because I don't sleep with socks on because I'm not a fucking creep. You hear that, America and beyond? If you sleep with socks on, you're a creep.
You're weird.
No one says.
I concur.
Rub your wool socks on my feet. What's wrong with you? So yeah, I would do it first thing in the morning. I love you roll over into some good some good sex. That's like top tier. First thing in the morning. And yes, men generally we wake up aroused, but women do too. And it's the perfect time to do it. Morning is the perfect time to do it. If I had the opportunity to do it in the afternoon, absolutely I'd do it in the afternoon. Because like after an hour, I'm already ready to go again. Like it's like quickie or not, I'm already ready to go again. So I'll do it in the afternoon, and then the evening, get yourself right for bed. Woo. That nut before sleep is top tier.
Like I'm such a cerebral worker that like, do you know how much a nut takes out of me and makes me want to take a nap? Like once I get there and I have done that, everything slows down. So like I have to, I'm not scheduling it out, but like I have to be careful about morning sex because you're not about to shut down my whole day before breakfast.
How sleepy do you get?
I will say, just because a man is hard in the morning does not mean he is aroused. A stiff penis in the morning is nothing more than biology of blood engorging the penis. That is just a regular thing, and that does not equal arousal. Now, we can do something with it.
For me.
No discipline. That's what I call that. You think because you just got a hard one that you got to do something with it, and sometimes that's no. Especially not if you're not willing to do the work to make sure that I'm on the same level. Because what you're not about to do is hit me with the dry pumps, because that's doing nothing to kick my day.
It won't be dry. It won't be dry. But
roll over into it. Okay.
No, you don't have to even roll over
into this desert.
If you're sleeping on your side, I'll make it work.
See,
that's true. Just a little cuddle and bump.
Nobody want that. Don't nobody want that.
Nobody want what?
That's not true. I gotta roll the decks. I do not. And you may say they don't want it, and they may not want it every time, but they're down for it most of the time. Who wants to go first?
I don't want no spit lube.
So Chantel, you know how the show goes. We have our topics, and we're just gonna go random fire through them. And please engage us, correct us, and then give us some of that good science brain you got from University of Georgia and Valdosta.
Hey.
But
I got you.
Thank you.
I think you should go first.
Who?
You.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
We're already on here, so yeah.
Mine is that's perfectly fine because this kind of leads right into what I wanted to talk about anyway. I actually have a video off the interweb that's attached to mine that I need everyone to listen to.
Here we go.
And then I definitely want your reactions to this. So let me see if I can get it to play. Let me get this up real quick.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Oh, you already have it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our producer.
Sexy
Look at
bitch.
our producer.
If you don't have a high sex drive and your man do, and you say you love your man, but he better not cheat on you, and you don't like sharing your man, I don't get it, sis. That don't sound like love. If you know you got a low sex drive and your man got a high sex drive, but you love your man and you want to please your man, you just don't want to share, then you need to turn that shit up and get that pussy up even when you don't want to. Or tag a bitch in to let her get him right, if possible. And everybody wins. You don't got to have sex when you don't want to, and your man ain't got to go without. I know y'all be ready.
What's the question?
The question is, so y'all heard when I heard that, I was like, oh man, we definitely got to discuss this because there are some things that that are, I don't know if confusing, but I really want to know how people think about this. But also for men, I think it's important to understand the role that we play in this as well. So my question was, if your sex drive is lower than your partner's, right? And I don't adhere to the idea that everything has to match up. So like your sex drive has to be the same as your partner's. This has to be the same as your partner's. It's just not, it's dumb. It's illogical to think that somebody's going to match you perfectly and all these things. But if you are on the negative side of it, right? If you're the person with the lower sex drive, would you be okay with, if you have no interest in raising yours to match your partner's, would you be okay with your partner going out and finding it somewhere else?
Absolutely not. What was the hesitation for it? Like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What would your counter argument be?
I'm selfish with my man.
That's fine.
What
if he's unhappy?
Desires? What about his unfulfilled
that's not my
desires?
truth or my experience, so I don't know. Like, you know, I can't speak for those who aren't.
Good over here. Good over here.
Cargills are healthy.
As for me and mine.
But I mean, just like any other relationship, you have to communicate about these things. It may not be a good fit. You may not be a good fit for each other if that's the case. I don't think it should be necessary for you to have to step out of the relationship if that's not what you're capable of doing, because relationships are complementary. There's always going to be somebody stronger in one area than the other, but it's about working through that. You shouldn't have to invite somebody else to have to meet that need, right? So, I mean, it depends on the person. Some people are down for that. I'm not. You know,
so,
and it depends on the person.
So basically, is sexual compatibility a deal breaker? Because what if, like, in every other area, y'all are in alignment and can build an amazing life together, but when it comes to the bedroom, it's like, no thanks, bye. Do you end the relationship? Do you just become friends because you're not compatible sexually? Because I feel like that's almost like that's the other part of that question.
I think that all comes down to honest conversations that people need to have with themselves before they go into a relationship. And you need to know what your must-haves are. And I feel like if you must have sexual compatibility on the same frequency and level as your partner, there is nothing wrong with that. I think you're going to have a hard time pinning that person down because sex is the emphasis there. But I don't think there's anything wrong with not being fulfilled. I feel like both people in that relationship are probably not sexually fulfilled. I mean, if one person is not getting it enough, the other person is under pressure to perform more when it's not something that's necessarily within your control. Like, sexual is not mental. It can be physical, it can be spiritual, it can be emotional, but it's not cerebral. You know what I mean? Like, men who struggle with like ED or performance issues and stuff like that, that is the one place where you get attacked the most and where you can't get out of, is once you and your brain think, oh my God, I've lost my ability to get hard. I will never get hard again. I don't know what to do because I'm attracted to man or woman or whatever you're attracted to, whoever you're attracted to, right? But like, you cannot will yourself into getting hard. You can get a Viagra and risk going to get your dick lanced if it goes 4 hours too long. You know what I mean? But you can't even come off of a Viagra from what I've heard. You just are rock hard for 4 hours. And again, neither people are really happy because the guy can't come off of it and the woman just getting rug burned from fucking being down there forever.
Yeah.
So I think you got to have a really honest conversation. I mean, I'm always big on conversations with yourself, but like, if you feel like sexual compatibility is a must have for you, then that's on you to find that person, right? Because if you're just unwilling and you feel like you're truly never going to be happy, well, then don't make that other person miserable.
But when do you have that conversation? Because
with yourself,
at least for my own
relationships.
Well, my own experience is that I don't think I've ever spoken just about sex and even my likes and dislikes in the start, middle, or end of a relationship, which has always been like so worrisome of doing it in a way where I'm being respectful of my lady's wants and needs, where I don't think because I get very, very protective of your experience with me, in the safety of it, and just the enjoyment of it. So I got to put mine on the back burner, make sure you good. You always got to feel comfortable. You good? I'll ask, you all right? You comfortable? You all right? Just because it's scary out there for being caught up in situations that you didn't put yourself in. And I've never been in a situation where I've had to worry about someone claiming, just ill activities on my behalf. It's just, that's literally always in the back of my mind though. But like, I always like, oh no, you got to make sure you're good. So I've never had the whole compatibility conversation on how much, how often do you want to, how much do you like? What do you like? Like, I'm just like, I get to that end, I'm good for the most part. Don't try to put your finger at me. That's the other thing.
I hate to be that person that I wear my therapist hat everywhere. So sorry.
Nah, it's fine.
Be that.
I strongly encourage you to have those conversations because that is an aspect of the relationship that's very important. That's going to carry you depending on what status you want to get to in that relationship. If it's a one night stand or something like that, then of course that's not necessary. But if you really, really, truly feel deeply for this person and you can see yourself marrying this person one day, you got to have those conversations before you jump the broom, because we're talking about forever. Like, you're going to get bored. It's going to get lame. It's going to get stale at moments. And so what are you going to do? How are you going to know how to meet the needs of that person? How are they going to pivot and evolve with you if you haven't had the conversation yet? So I would encourage you to talk about it. And it's fun. It's a fun conversation to have, really. And you really you learn more about each other because it's such a vulnerable conversation. It's dope. Like, you should try it.
It's possible. And I think it's just finding the right avenue to have that conversation for me, because I mean, they'll tell you, and you've heard me speak, being raised in the way that I was raised, right? There was no limitations to the conversations that I did have with my parents, about anything. Like, there was no, oh, we can't talk about that, way too good. Like, my mother used to come in with pictures from like the clinic, like, yo, if you don't use condoms, this is what your dick gonna look like. like when we were like 11, 10 years old. Yeah, it's like, it's gonna look like cauliflower if you out here
blue
not
waffle,
using condoms. So because there was nothing like that, I'm very much, I'll talk about anything. I talk about death and sex and everything, and I don't have any like just weird nuances to those topics that I feel like everybody else has. So I don't care to talk about it because I see people's faces scrounge up when I say certain things. It's just it doesn't even bother me. I just go, I don't think they like that stuff. And so then now I just hold it back in. I just go, let me just not. I've never just gone on like, yo, what you like? And at the same time, I don't think it matters to me so much. Like, as nasty as I am, I do believe in making sure that you please your partner first before you get yours. I
Unless
absolutely.
it's a quickie.
Nope.
Gentlemen.
Even in the quickie. because listen, even in the quickie, and I think it's very important, men, even in the quickie, listen, they finna go back and talk about it.
For sure.
No matter what you think is happening, they finna go back and tell their friends. So you got to put in that A performance, especially on your first go. Like the only time you can slack off is if this is the only time you can fuck up is if y'all been fucking around for a while and she already know what the real deal is. If you fuck up on the first time, oh my god, the pressure, and now I just think your friends are looking at me funny. Oh my gosh, the shame. Oh,
the wasted opportunity. Oh, the pride.
Just go home and punch myself in the chest like Mark Wahlberg did in Fear. Just do better. Like I would like what am I supposed to do? But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever talked about it. So for me, if I had a low sex drive, obviously I can't deal with somebody stepping out on me just so they could fulfill their things. Like I couldn't do it. But I also, having a higher sex drive, I would just be like, I got to deal with it myself. I wouldn't go. I'd just go beat my meat.
Dick discipline.
Dick discipline?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Sometimes the urge to step out just goes away after you bust that quick nut in the bathroom.
Immediately.
You know what I mean? Like you're just like, oh, I didn't really want to cheat. I just had this nut up inside me and I had to get the devil out.
Yeah. If you feel like you're about to cheat, just go. Like this is how you determine if you really like want to step out or if you just need to catch his nut. Beat your meat before you do it. Like you get ready to dial out, beat your meat. And if you don't feel the need to go out no more, you didn't need to cheat, bro. You just need that nut. If you still go out afterwards, then I think you need to get a new girlfriend. You need to get about that relationship.
Very true.
B Todd, what is your answer? Not the deep side.
You know, when I saw this clip earlier today, I was thrown back to a conversation that we had a couple weeks ago. And Miss CTG was talking about how sex is a very emotional experience for her, and how she just couldn't understand how like. No. This is not against you. This is not an attack on you. This is framing. This is just framing. I promise. After that wonderful intro I wrote for you today, please give me a little dignity today. I bought it. I bought it with kind words. When you said that, like, we were talking about stepping out on relationships, but it being a consensual thing, right? Like, let's have like a hall pass, let's have a whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you said you couldn't do it because that's just too much. And I was like, well, but there are people. So I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm not trying to paraphrase. Just let me get to the point, and then we can go back and clean it up. But all that I was trying to say is there are women like this who exist out here. How yes, I could totally be in a hall pass relationship, excuse myself from the relationship for 2 seconds, go beat off in her, and come back and still have brought nothing emotionally back from that, still brought nothing back physically, because those are the rules now. Don't bring no diseases back and whatever else. Like, so it is possible to me to have those open relationships. I just think if you're going to do it, you have to be fair and you have to expect the other person to step out as well. And if you're not okay with that, then you're not okay with having an open relationship. All right, Miss CT, you can tear me apart. I wasn't trying to paraphrase. I was just trying to.
I have nothing to tear apart other than y'all keep trying to clown me about this emotional connection in sex.
Because you just love the motherfuckers that got to get inside of you.
Man,
first of all,
that's not what I said.
She listens to
Beyonce. Having an emotional connection. Honestly,
this is what I'm saying.
It makes it better. You need another woman on the show, obviously, because it makes it such a deeper. To me, it takes me into like a different, it's an outer body experience for me.
It opens the chakras,
like it's so deep for me. I'm serious, and you can't have that with everybody.
No,
but with your person.
But when you're talking a quickie a day and twofer over here, you know what I'm saying? We just need the clinical act of release.
And I need to be very clear. I can see both sides. I 100% can enjoy a sexual experience with somebody that I am not in love with at all. But there has to be some sort of mutual affection, even if it's just like, yo,
not even a little bit.
I call that respect.
I'm talking about for me. I already know you are a psychopath when it comes to sex. Okay.
Damn, the crowd loved that one, Miss CTG. Keep them coming.
I'm a fucking psychopath when it comes to sex. That's insanity.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better word. I'm gonna
Live
find
studio
a
audience.
Judgment-free zone.
I'm gonna find a better, more accurate word for you for the next episode.
Nah, I like
but
that
for
one.
Today, we're gonna stick with that.
You
Sexual
sexual psychopath.
You're a
Yes.
sexual path.
Sexual path.
But in regards to this particular question, y'all already know my stance. Just go ahead and be polyamorous and keep it pushing, because
Mhm.
that's and ethically polyamorous or ethically non-monogamous in a way in which y'all are on the same page that, okay, we want to be partners for whatever duration, whatever type of partnership it is, marriage, boyfriend, whatever. And we have this one level of incompatibility right now. And so if what will support you in being happy is to go connect with somebody else who can also serve you in that way, then go do that. Just know that where I'm lacking, I'ma also be supported by somebody else as well. And
Right.
see,
But
when it usually
that's
when
fair.
you start making it equal, that's when men be like, well, nah, chill. You know, you can't go do, you
no,
can't be, you
that's
can't
true.
da. And so
It's
that's
not
why,
ladylike.
right.
I love
Oh, you gonna be out here. I can't have my woman.
Absolutely
I
right.
can't share my woman. I can't
That's because men are
come
territorial,
behind.
man.
We're
You gotta let that
territorial.
shit go, bro.
We're not mature enough as a
Yeah.
whole to do
Yeah.
this. But the question is
Not
this:
there's some there are some,
there
and
are
it is
some.
increasing
There are
every
some.
day in the various communities
Yeah,
out
them niggas
there,
is lame.
know.
Um,
Or they're evolving and they're
yeah, them
doing their
niggas is
work.
yeah.
Okay.
They're stupid.
Okay.
But the question is this, right? I think the
Yeah.
question is more along the lines of how much of your partner's pleasure is your responsibility, or you feel is your responsibility,
100.
and their happiness, right? Like because say that your partner does not have any want to step out. They just have a high sex drive. I have no interest in going to be with anybody else. I only want to be with you.
I just want more.
But my sex drive is just higher than yours.
I think that gets to be a
very much
conversation
higher.
then. Because maybe I don't want to have sex with you, but will you take a hand job? Can I suck
Oh
your dick
yeah,
instead? You
I
know
saw
what I'm
this
saying?
machine.
Like,
Gawk
is that
3000.
a conversation? Yeah.
Here's a
maybe
more
that
vital question: is how do you
Sure.
bring that conversation up? Because that has got to be intimidating as fuck to somebody. The one who's going to bring it up is the one who's pissed off the most. That's usually how conversations like that get brought up. It's in a fight because someone is exhausted, male or female, don't matter. I just think it's very rare. I can't speak for every relationship because I haven't been in everybody's relationship, but like I think it's very rare that people actually bring this up in a cool, calm, casual manner, and it doesn't just come out in an argument, which already sets the table at odds.
I don't think it has to be an argument. I think
It doesn't
especially
have to be. I agree.
it's just if
But
we
how?
go with the roles that are in this example, I think if I was the woman partner who wasn't satisfying my man in that space, like I feel like I would be compelled to bring it up because I care about him being happy. It's not my responsibility. I like when you ask that question, I think it's 0% my responsibility. Like happiness is a 100% personal job, but
Sure.
because I've decided that I want to be in partnership with you in life, I care about you being happy. And if I play a role in that, if I can be a part of that experience, then yeah, I'm gonna have the conversation like, hey, I know that we haven't been doing da 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 da. Is there something else that I could do that could help you since you don't want to go find it anywhere else? Is there something I can do? Like I would bring it up if I was the woman for sure.
You're strong enough to do that. I think the large amount of the populace is not strong enough to have that conversation. Even like when B Todd was just talking, the first thing I said is like, the reason why men don't bring this up is because for the most part, it's going to lead to an argument on the idea of am I enough? Generally from a woman's side of the idea of going, you are who I love and who I choose to love and what I want. I just have a high sex drive. So even me telling you this doesn't necessarily mean that you're not enough for me. It's just being honest with you about sex drive.
More of you.
Then I have to defend how much I care about you because it's just not gonna go well. Which is probably why we refrain from the conversation as a whole.
Do you know how many fights are resolved by sex? So when the fight is about
Is it
sex
really a
itself,
resolution or is it a Band-Aid?
it's not. No, it's not a resolution. It's a.
Oh, okay.
This is my goodie bag for having to put up with this bullshit on
It's a
both
resolution
sides.
for me.
Whatever we got to do
Alright, thanks
to
so much
eventually
for
get
having
back
me.
to the table and
I
apologize.
assume
and
the
move on.
argument's done right after we have sex. We had sex. That argument's done.
But when
Yeah.
the fight is about the sex itself, I can tell you from a man's experience, that's a terrifying place to be. Like you want my dick to disappear completely. Have me overthinking about, am I going to be enough to satisfy you when you've just been mad and yelling at me about it? That is a personal experience.
The problem is, why are y'all yelling about something? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's a different.
Maybe I'm just, my headspace is like, I can't quite relate to where y'all
No.
coming from with this. So
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
different
it's
issue.
just
what you say.
like communication in the relationship, just in general. Obviously, it's not
Right.
a place where you feel safe to bring those types of conversations up. And shameless plug, you might need to go to therapy to unpack that. You know what I mean?
Shit,
because
we love therapy
Did
on
you
this
say you
show.
want to drop your website one time, Chantal?
I'm sorry.
You said you want to drop your website right there?
Oh yeah, shameless plug at therightworks.com. But no, like I think honestly it speaks to how safe you feel in the relationship to be able to open up at that level of vulnerability, because that's what it is. You know, do you feel safe within yourself to say, oh my gosh, like I know we need to have this conversation. I'm going to run this person away or whatever. Have a conversation about your fear of communicating certain things before you have those type of conversations. I mean, you got to communicate. You can't
Amen.
assume the person knows what your needs are. You can't assume that that person's going to understand, you know, this is what your needs are, or that you know that person's needs without communicating with them. It's just impossible to do that. So I say, like, let me take my therapist hat off. Get over it. Get over the fear. Because your relationship, your bond is more important than your fear. It's bigger than your fear. And it speaks to how much you really, truly love that person and is connected to them. I'm willing to put my own fear aside to talk about this because I know this is what is going to help us be stronger on the other side of that. Ooh,
Right.
That's real.
And if your partner isn't willing to have the conversation with you, then I think you need to reevaluate the partnership.
I got questions.
Right. Yeah.
So just saying, just throwing that out there.
Communication.
This might be a good segue into your topic, B Todd. What do you think? Big Toddy?
I think whatever you want me to think, Miss CTG.
Hot toddy.
Don't do that.
That was my way of stalling for time while I pull my topic up.
That's exactly what it was. He needed a second to get to his topic.
He was like, yeah. That's I hear.
Because I had two this week, and I gotta choose between the one. But I feel like we've addressed that one. So, being that we're talking about conversation and communication, as Miss CTG said, this is a great segue because I want to talk about men. Okay. And this is a loving challenge to us, but I feel like there is a gap when it comes to men and women when it comes to emotional intelligence. And I feel like men just aren't fully emotionally articulate. I hate that fucking word, but for the sake of this argument, I think emotionally articulate is a way. I think men are capable of emotional intelligence, but I don't think we know how to be, and I don't think we've been in enough safe spaces where it can be expressed. But I want to know, how can we bridge that gap? How can we both put the bullshit aside and come to the table?
Can you hit that applause button though for that first part that you said?
And a little bit of a hype crowd put in there. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I came with a whole bunch of guests. I got sound effects. What it do?
I mean, winning. Okay.
So
yeah, I'm like,
so
he's talking to you first. So go ahead.
Yes. Well, you already know how I feel about it. We just got to do better for our children and our friends. We've talked about this plenty of times where there is a responsibility once we get to a certain level of understanding within ourselves that we start to try to teach out what that is to our brethren, our children, our family. And it should be, and just being able to be expressive in your emotions is one of them. again, we talk about how toxic it is growing up, where all you hear is man up immediately. You're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to have a moment of just even understanding what your emotions are. There's you good for anger and happiness, and that's how most men are raised.
I think more men
Anger,
are more
happy,
familiar with that anger than anything else.
and way more familiar with that anger because it gets you through so much more. It gets you through so much more in life, especially growing up. Anger gets you through being afraid. Anger gets you through fights. Anger gets you through not understanding, if you happen to not have enough or what you feel like is not enough as everybody else. The anger gets you through that because it makes you work a little bit harder because you don't ever want to feel that way. No, we know it's anger and happiness, and we don't ever stop.
I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just trying to add on, but like I feel like anger is like the discipline of choice when it comes to men too, because like even as boys, I can tell you, you know how many times I was attacked just for like being bigger and just for being a boy amongst 4 of my sisters, and like they always got so mad at me for doing something like almost to a violent level, but not abuse, but like spankings, which is considered abuse. But I feel like men are met with more anger growing up wherever you grow up, but as we go through life, I feel like anger is just directed at us, and then we just learn that as a habit.
I think though, just to add in though, I don't think it's limited to men. Like I think anger is the safe choice for most people because beneath anger is always some sort of like fear or hurt. Like that's the reason. Like in the last few years, one of the things that I've really had to start doing, like in situations, whether it's dating or friendship or even parenting, with my little brother, it's like, what is the actual thing that I'm feeling here? Because like my immediate thing is anger because it's like, oh, you can feel righteous in your anger. But it's like, what the fuck am I actually angry for? It's like, oh, because I feel like he disrespected me. So why do I feel disrespected? Do I feel like I wasn't heard? Was I not communicating properly? Why does it even matter? Like, am I afraid for his life? Am I afraid for his safety? Am I afraid that this person isn't hearing me? You know what I'm saying? So, like, really unpacking those things that are beneath the anger is what I think on both in both genders, sexes, whatever term we're gonna use here. I think it plays in both, but men, I think, get more permission to get away with being angry. Like you're in a fight and you can be angry about being in a fight, but like you can't feel sad that your friend just accused you of something, so you got to hit him with the anger, right? So I think it
Yeah.
goes both sides. But yeah, go ahead, Chantal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, anger is a secondary emotion. So I feel you, Miss CTG. You are spot on on that. And in terms of how, because we're all emotional. I hate when people say men are not emotional. Yes, they are.
Oh,
They are very
100% we are.
emotional beings, but we emotionally express ourselves differently. And I
Mm-hmm.
think anger is more aggressive. It's more masculine, right?
Right.
So I think that's why the permission is given to men to express their hurt in that way, because it's not soft as like I'm sad or I'm upset, I'm disappointed. And that's nothing but social constructs. Somebody from somewhere just said men can't show their emotions and women can, and made it a thing, right?
But
It's
then they
not.
also down us for being emotional at the same time.
Exactly. I'm like, what do you want us to do? Like, do you want us to be emotional? Like, what's going on?
I want you
Or
to be
express
emotional, but
ourselves
Just want a quickie a
emotionally?
day.
damn, I just
Like,
want you to stop just fucking
what?
nagging me. I know.
No, they want us to have this mild. There's some people out there that wants women to have this
Alzheimer's.
mild temperament, really like unidimensional type.
Ooh.
Yes, submissive
Oh
and
no, those are beta males.
soft and tender. And when we get angry, oh, whoa, that's too loud. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's disrespectful.
No.
We're not in a box. And I feel like we should have those permissions on both sides of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
I get angry a lot,
For sure.
but I think what I've done more to grow and evolve is to really be more introspective and say, what am I really hurt by? And really give myself that time to sit in that emotion. I have every right to feel angry, but I know that
Mm-hmm.
that's the secondary.
Right.
Something is hurting me. So what am I truly hurt by? And then I'll kind of face that.
See, we don't even give ourselves time to do that, or even to just understand what those feelings and what those emotions are. Um, it's got to start with being able to trust first. So, I mean, I can speak for myself, but mostly I think with most men is just the inability to trust even other men with those emotions. And it starts with our fathers. Um, my father was very, very, very much the manly man, like super diesel, tell you, but uh, I was lucky enough that that man would tell me that he loved me. You know, he would laugh with us. My father did most of the cooking in the house. He was the breadwinner, but he also did most of the cooking in the house. And he made sure that we all knew how to sew. We all knew how to wash our clothes. We all knew how to cook. Because even within
Self-sufficient.
his teaching that, there was still some toxicity. Because his thought process was, I don't want you waiting for no woman to do this for you. If you wait for a woman to feed you, you're gonna starve. So he taught us how to cook, so that we didn't have to rely on anybody else to do those things. Uh, while still holding on to his very misogynistic thought processes. But in him at least saying that he loved me, even though he was very much like, yo, you a man, like that, there were still certain rules and there's still certain things that were attached to it. For instance, fighting. You don't have to whoop everybody's ass just because you know how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be a man does not mean that you have to fuck everybody up. Sometimes it's knowing that you could walk away and you're still that man. I live by that. I've never gotten into a fight where I was the aggressor. Any fight that I've gotten in has been me defending myself because because what?
Well, no, I'm talking alongside you because I'm resonating with it, but like I just can't help but feel overwhelmed at how addictive anger can be. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
it.
And I'll say this because, like, I think you're right. I mean, obviously, we're all emotional people and we all get mad, but along with being a man and part of masculine culture and just the hierarchy of men is violence is a direct measurement of manliness, even back to like cave days, right? But like that has never gone anywhere. The person that puffs their chest up, that can get the loudest and physically can get the biggest, like that has worked its way into how do men sever that break. Like I know for myself now, like in my single years before my current relationship, you know what I mean? I told myself I was going to go sow those wild oats and I was going to do everything, but I was also working on healing. I was going to therapy. I was going to church. And I remember there was a time we were going down in the New York subway, and I told you, man, I'm not a huge guy, but I'm big enough where people can point me out in a crowd and sometimes they just want to fuck with you. And this guy just bumped me and he was carrying his little 6-pack of like Arbor Mist or whatever his soft ass had. And he was just like, yo, bro, you all right? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. Are you? And he's just like, you all right? You all right? And he just kept getting bigger and stepping to me. And I remember at that point, I could feel my hands clench and I was ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, put your bottles down, bro, and let's go. And my friend, my Kayla Bartholomew, she's a great actress, a good friend of mine, just pulled me by the shoulder of my shirt, just like that. And I remember the power of giving somebody else permission to calm me down and to know better for me in those kind of situations. And it changed my fucking life. But it didn't come till I was 34, 35. You know what I mean? Like, had to be. It was before COVID. Nobody knows those middle years of 2020 to 2022. But like, I think we should all get 2 birthdays back.
Can I acknowledge that story for you, B Todd? Because a couple weeks ago, I was out with some friends and we had been drinking, no problem. But we ended up at this Waffle House in downtown, and the Waffle House workers were not like super professional or super polite, but also
Waffle
it's
House.
3 o'clock in the morning, like just and it's Waffle House. And my friends in their drunken not entitlement, because they weren't wrong, but it just wasn't necessary. But like they got upset. They were in there and they were going off on the girls and I went in there and I tried to just like calm them down. They're both like, nah, 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 you can't calm me down. I can't be soothed. Da 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 da. And I'm like, but you're making an ass out of yourself. In my head, this is what I'm thinking, right? And these are the people preparing our food. And so I think the fact that I just wanted to acknowledge you for being in that mind, that mentality to say, okay, yep, somebody else is seeing outside of this right now. And they may have a point that is a little more common sense than mine is, and so I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow their lead for a moment, because it wasn't until they saw video of themselves the next day that they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe we were a little much." But they still stood in the fact
Yeah,
that but our points were valid. But it's like, "Bruh,
anger is
but what are you
addictive.
doing?"
You can't
It's
take your foot off the gas after a
yeah,
certain point because it just feels good to lay
yeah,
on it. You
I
know what
love
I
it.
mean? Like, I
It's
of
tried, I
adrenaline.
talked
course.
myself off the
Yeah,
cliff, and you came and you wanted this mess, and now we're here. And, like, everybody else in that moment, it's just like,
right.
"No, you don't understand. They've accosted me. They've insulted my good being,
Oh,
and now I'm ready to defend
But
myself."
I have such a unhealthy
so
compatibility with anger because
Go on.
it's well because it was my survival tactic. I grew up in foster care, getting physically abused by foster parents, getting physically. I've been in fights and been jumped so many times. I couldn't even tell you how many fights and how many times I've been jumped before. And I'm talking about elementary school. I've been jumped in third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth, uh, fighting, my brothers, my uncles, shit like that. So for me, I just know that I am okay. I know I get wild reckless with my anger, but I'm also okay with it because I'm not out here just abusing people.
So
It's
you
my
feel like you
safe.
have it in check.
mhm.
I feel like I know that I don't get angry for no reason. I've never
Mhm.
lashed out at a person for no reason. And so for that, I'm okay with the fact when I get angry that it's fine with me. You may not like it anymore because now you see what the fuck I turned into.
Once
But
you've
you did
hit
that, not
once you've
me.
hit that gear, right? Once you've hit that top level gear where you're ready to go, do you have the ability to stop yourself and turn it off and say, "Wait a minute, I need to return to solid ground
It depends on
and
what it is.
de-escalate this immediately"?
When I'm at work and you've worked with me and I'm dealing with somebody who is saying that they want to hurt me. To me, the idea that you say you want to hurt me tells me I can beat the shit out of you.
Right.
The minute that you claim that you want to physically harm me is the minute that you gave up, and now I have free reign to hurt you because you already proclaimed that you want to do it to me. I'm not waiting to
Interesting.
figure out if that's true or not. I'm gonna fuck you up. The minute you say you're gonna put your hands on
My
me, I'm
word.
gonna hit you.
Challenge
But
accepted.
knowing that I'm at work and knowing that this is my livelihood makes me go, all right, man, he ain't touch you yet. He can say everything he wants. As long as he don't touch you, you good. Outside of work I can't. Now I have
It's interesting.
there's nothing
Mhm.
there for me. There's no
But
consequence other
can't
than
we? Can't we do that though? Can't we?
we
Like,
we
if
could.
you can do
I
that when
choose
you're at
not to.
work, I can do that when I have given people like I will visually look at them and say, okay, like I give this person permission to calm me the fuck down because I just know I inherited this rage from my dad. I didn't work at it. I didn't work it out. I didn't exercise it. I didn't flower it. I didn't grow it. This shit was given to me, and it's in all my siblings' DNA as well. And when we hit that gear, bro, it's impossible.
Mm.
But why? You know what I'm saying? Like clearly we do.
That's not
It's possible.
true. It is because I used to be very, very, very angry, and like, I'm not gonna say I was mean, but like, the trigger hair was
Right.
real small. It was that, and I could just hit you with the all of that. And now, in doing the work, and this kind of brings in the whole emotional maturity sort of conversation again, is like, now getting angry, like, doesn't even feel good in my body.
Yeah.
Like, I can feel, and I'm like, "Oh," like, and I get, like, I know, like, you get annoyed and you wanna vent and all that, like, I get that, but, like, the way that I feel after having even moments of anger, like, it's so much remorse, it's so much this, that it's like, it no longer serves me and my ultimate goals for, like, who I wanna be and how I wanna show up in the world. And so, and the reason I say that you can get through it, because my mom, she was a very nice lady, but she had moments, especially when I was growing up, where she was angry all the time. Like, she would come home from work and just be angry, like, you'd be on walking on eggshells when she got in the house because, she was maybe unhappy in other areas of her life and took it out on us, no problem. But, I could say the same thing. Oh, I got that anger from her. I got that rage from her. But, oh, with time, I've been able to work through it to the point now where it doesn't resonate with
Well,
who I
yeah.
am
I mean,
anymore.
I think you can work with it, and I think you can get it in a position where you can have control of it. I still think just like trauma can be inherited or passed on generationally and genetically, I feel like that's along those same lines where it's like those triggers are probably, let's say, not as easy to trigger as for maybe other people who have like a longer fuse, right? Or like I know for a fact for me, like something so small can just or used to set me off. You know what I mean? And like it's programmed, and there's a lot of unlearning and a lot of disconnecting and like unconscious or conscious uncoupling, I guess. But like there's so much work.
Oh,
I don't like anger. Okay. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Israel.
No. Go ahead.
I don't like to feel angry because I don't feel in control, because it's such an irrational emotion. Because again, there's another driver, right, of the emotion, and the way that it comes out is like, oh my God, this person is so aggressive. But really and truly, I'm just deeply hurt. And so I think when people come into therapy and they're unpacking it, and they finally get to what the real core issue is, they realize how out of control they are when they're angry. It's like they're a different person. And it's so easy to give somebody else power when you're angry because you're not yourself.
Man.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes. Say that again. That's an applause moment right there.
And so it's one of those emotions. Yes. Like if you have to live with it, yes, you can. But I think it's how you use it, because there's a thin line between being angry and being passionate. Passion is the same intensity as anger, but it's controlled. Right. And so I think it's just, we have to be mindful of that. We have to give ourselves time to feel and process what's going on within our bodies. But then also know that if I allow myself to get out of pocket, that person has me. They have control over me. I no longer have control over myself. And that is a very uncomfortable space for me. Right. And so I think now I just take the time, take a pause, like, Chantel, is it really worth popping off with this person? Probably not. They're going to get sleep at night. They're going to rest well. And I'm still going to be pissed off, that this person disrespected me. Right. So I think that you just have to, when it comes to emotional maturity, I think you start to prioritize certain things. Do I want to entertain this? Or, is it worth my time and energy to really pour into this? Probably not. So I'm just going to move forward with my life. It's not worth it. I got too many things that I got going on in my life that's great that I want to pour positivity in. I'm not going to allow for this person to derail me from that. Period. That's too much power I'm giving them. So yeah, that's my soapbox moment.
No, that's fantastic. I think I put anger in different brackets for me. Cause like anger for my kids, like I've never yelled at. I don't yell at my daughter. I don't like, but she also doesn't make me angry. Like if she does something I don't like, it's just annoying. And I go, annoyance is here. And I still purposely choose to not yell because I know that there's no benefit to it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think spanking, yelling does anything. I've had plenty of ass whoopings and it turned out like this. So I don't do it. Right? I don't get into arguments with any significant other where I have ever like, I gotta put my hands on this person. I've been angry, but it's never that. The anger that I enjoy, and that may sound weird, but the anger that I enjoy, the anger that I get, like that's like, ooh, that feels good. That's only when dealing with other men. And I think that is probably for me more of a pride thing and a posturing thing, because I know what I can do. I'll change your fucking life. And I say that to people now. I'll change your life. Oh, I am strong enough and I'm angry enough to make you reconsider what your life is going right now. Would you like to continue?
Vaguely sexual.
Nah, whatever.
It's scary how calm.
I mean, the change your life.
Like,
I think only
is he talking about fighting, or are we back on the nut?
Nah, man. Fucking Mike Tyson said,
"I will change your life, motherfucker. I will enter you.
I'll fuck you till you love me."
That was great. John Cena in the, what was that, Trainwreck movie where he just kept saying those things? Oh my god.
No, but like I think it is a posturing, and it's probably a pride thing, but I like it. I enjoy. I don't get irrationally angry. Like if me and B Todd, you see me get angry before, but like not like I don't go, oh, there's no talking me down. There's just in my head, I go, I should break his fucking jaw. I don't do it, but in my head, it would be perfectly sensible to dislocate your jaw. And like, there's no, oh, that doesn't make sense. It goes, no, for what you did, you should have your jaw broken, and I'm fine with that. And it just is what it is.
In his back pocket that he checks a little spreadsheet. And just
I just go. Is this it? Like shut up to me. Very small thing, but you say shut up to me. Oh, I should take your face off.
Wow.
There's no. I don't know. I feel like shut up is just so disrespectful. Like shut up and suck my dick.
I mean,
like being in New York, you hear that all. Yo, suck my. That there, man. That goes. Oh, you can die. Like
it's crazy how much power that phrase though, because that going back to power, right? That phrase "suck my dick" has the ability to destroy so many men's lives just off of pride and physical ego,
and it's so it really stupid.
Is. Or similarly, calling some guy a pussy, which apparently, like in New York, you know, I don't feel that same kind of.
See, that doesn't
down here, but in New York, there was like very clear, like. Right. Don't ever say suck my dick.
Born and raised in New York, and calling me a pussy would not bother me nearly as much as telling me to suck your dick or telling me to shut up. I don't know why shut up bothers me so much, but I think it's just someone trying to enforce their will on you, and I just don't. Oh, God, shit, goddamn! I think I'm having a breakthrough right now.
Unheard,
yeah,
and small.
I think it's because I have such an ill mindset towards being dominated.
What if the guy said, "Hey, Israel"? I really don't disagree.
What if it was a lady?
Suck my dick.
I already know.
Shut up.
Same thing with ladies, which is probably why we're having breakthroughs right now. Same thing with ladies, which is probably why I have issues with feeling like mothered, because I don't like to feel dominated. I've never needed it. I grew up in circumstances that didn't allow me to have it. I had to grow up faster than I needed to, so I don't have that whole need of approval for a mom. It wasn't there. It's too late now. It's already good. So I don't need it from you. I don't need it from a significant other. I don't need to be. I don't need anyone asking me what time I'm gonna be home. That's a form of dominating me that I know it's irrational, but in my head, you're controlling an aspect of me that I do not like to be controlled. I'll be in control of what I need to be in control of. I'm good. I survived this long. I'm good. And there may be some other things I'm packing there, but I think now it's just it's this idea of dominating me. Maybe.
Wow.
You know,
it sounds to me like you need to go to a dominatrix. And find the joy in submission.
Of all the things, nah.
You don't know. It could be the most erotic experience of your life.
Yeah.
Freeing,
tying me up and
liberating,
that'll get me through that whole,
making you feel more powerful.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm paying you to fucking slap me? Fuck that shit. I get mad when I get pinched.
This is why you can't bridge the gap to emotional maturity.
You're just trying to get me into some wild shit that I'm not ready for. No way. Dominatrix is. I'm good.
I'm just trying to get you to come to my dungeon. I tell you, in another life, I think I could be
another life. You start next week. What do you? Just another life. I saw it on your LinkedIn. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, are you hosting a sex party?
All right. You went too far. Whatever. Too far.
Whatever. That was a great topic, everybody.
Oh my god!
Yeah, full on. Let's run it back.
It was. I feel like we could really dive into that more.
Man, Miss CTJ, do you want to?
Do we have time? I just want to make sure I don't, because I know Chantel, our guest. I want to make sure we don't take up too much of your time.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. So mine is also, of course, internet based. I need to read it to you. There was a text. It was a text message thread.
Yes.
And then, I found it. I put the link in our notes. Okay, so it was a text between a man and a woman. The woman said, "Good afternoon. So I was thinking I don't really think we have too much in common, and the chemistry isn't really there for me. I just wanted to be straightforward and not waste any time. I hope you find what you're looking for." And then he responds, "Seriously? What chemistry? Why I stay getting rejected? Guess I had to be a thug nigga to get some kind of attention then. You stay picking them over us nice men that want to be productive. I'm totally pissed and upset. Can you tell me what chemistry we didn't have? I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm trying my best to date my black women, by the way.
There it
I
is.
really don't want to go date outside my race. If you're gonna be sensitive about little shit, then I have no choice. SMH.
Not the SMH.
And oh shit, there's more. I wanted to talk and then you didn't want to chat. So I want to know in specific why. Because I'm a little chubby. I'm not
Jesus
into
Christ.
partying. I'm into
No,
health.
that's the part where he
What
gave up
is it?
himself. Yeah.
I'm exhausted. And then she responds, when we spoke, you weren't listening to me. I asked you a question multiple times and you laughed because you didn't hear me and didn't care enough to ask what I said. Many times while FaceTiming, you were looking at yourself. It has
There was no
nothing
need
to
for
do
that.
with your physical attributes and you taking care of yourself. As I said, I hope you find what you're looking for. So my question is, do nice guys really finish last, or are
This
they
guy's
just
not a
really
nice guy,
not that
so it
great?
This
doesn't
guy's not
matter.
a nice guy.
Question.
He's not a nice guy.
This
This guy's not a
Not
nice
the
guy.
bullshit. Nope.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's
do
not
not pass
he's
go.
not one of
Do not
us.
collect $200. Not a nice guy.
Don't pass
He's
go.
not nice.
Definitely. Don't think his black women gave him clearance for that.
You know what he is? This nigga thinks that he thinks he's a nice guy, and he presumes that he is, and he presumes that he deserves
So
more. So
that's some
his
real shit.
A little bit
That's some
on
real shit.
narcissistic.
Because there are nice guys, and I don't think nice guys finish last. I think nice guys have a longer journey. They have more of a marathon than like some, but I think it's worthwhile, 100%.
Yep.
Shout out to nice guys.
Yes.
But the worst thing are nice guys, assholes who think they're nice guys.
Yeah.
Right? Or just dirty fuckers who are actually very terrible, not really great in relationships, not really selfless, don't care about anybody outside themselves, who think, I'm a nice guy. Usually they're narcissists because they love to like weaponize their good deeds and like present all these things, and then they'll hold them over you, right? You know what I mean? Because they'll bring your attention back to all the nice things that they did for you. That's a crock of shit, man. Like you gotta know when you're seeing a real nice guy and when you're seeing a piece of shit lame like this dude who really gave himself up at the end of the text message. Like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, and that's not good enough for you, you stupid whore. Huh?
Well,
why? Because my dog doesn't even like me? Huh?
It feels like to me he's a very insecure person and he's projecting onto her. But I hate how he's bringing in black women into that conversation. Leave us out of it.
That's more of his insecurity weak ass.
Leave us out of it.
Very insecure.
This nigga weak. I mean, if you keep it 100, listen, I can't speak for everybody, but if you told me like her first response to good afternoon and just telling them, hey, I don't think this is gonna work, the chemistry isn't there, I'm not, thank you, so I ain't gotta waste my time, I ain't gotta waste no more of my money, I ain't gotta waste all my time. Listen, I thought that it was going in a different direction. I may not necessarily feel that way, but I gotta be respectful of the way that you feel. Keep it 100. Thank you at least for letting me know. I ain't gotta bother you no more. Man, he didn't even have to respond. The fact that he responded with the seriously, what chemistry? Come on, yeah.
It was follow. Did you see how many texts it was? It was like he was writing and he stopped. He said he was like, I got more to say.
Emotional.
And
everything about it. Guess I have to be a thug nigga then to get some kind of attention.
I know we're missing the context of the rest of that conversation, but I'm pretty sure she never brought that up in the conversation anywhere.
Also,
you know what I mean?
You can't just evolve into a thug nigga. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna transform into this weird, just mythical mindset that you think that women are looking for. It's not you, bro. You just not. You not it. You super weak, and the way that you sit there and say black women,
so
that's your cop out. That's your cop out.
That was some major bullshit.
I hate black women.
Nothing to do that.
I don't want to date.
That's your way to say that you hate black women, and you scared. You scared of the challenge. You scared of anybody that's gonna sit there and not necessarily fit and conform into your norm. These are beta males. They're the ones that need passive.
They are beta males.
They need passive,
the most screen time right now.
They need passive, unchallenging women in their lives so that they can feel more of a man than they are. No, argue with me. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me what I can do better. Make me better by showing me where I'm not.
Just don't say "shut up" or "suck it." Okay,
Right?
Yeah, don't say that.
Those
Yo,
are the
So
only
my
two things you
listen.
can't say. Other than that, we can hold you accountable.
Don't say that.
Okay, got it.
Do not. Because
Oh
I'll be
my
able to attack
gosh.
you, but I got a sister to whoop your ass.
Okay, what if it's like the shut
No,
up,
like that.
not like
No,
saying
you
it, but
know the
like
one.
disbelief.
You know
Because
the
I
one
know
with
I say that
the
sometimes.
inflection.
Yeah,
I just want to
shut
make
up.
sure that I
That's the
haven't
one.
offended you
It's just a straight. Yo,
inadvertently.
shut up. Shut
Yeah.
up. It's just like
Okay.
what? Who the
Yeah.
fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I've gotten.
Okay.
I don't want to backtrack, but I've gotten violently angry when somebody got that way it is at work. Like I would be across the damn fucking store and hear that shit. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, you don't even
But I
understand.
knew, but I knew
over
Israel
here.
was going to lose it, and so somebody has to go get him and take that.
Oh, so you got to hit
No,
your
'cause-
rage so
no,
that
that's
Iz
a tag
doesn't
out.
hit his
That's a tag
rage.
out because, like in that situation, he's not going to get me angry. Like I'm pissed off at you insulting this dude, but now I'm gonna treat you like a clown. Israel in that scenario is insulted and he's unable to see straight. So I gotta get him out the way off the floor, get him taken care of, maybe a couple of deep breaths downstairs, and then I'm gonna handle this clown.
If you knew how many times B Todd and I like stopped each other
Traded
from
off.
raging
Oh my god!
Out.
How we have
rage twin.
Yeah.
Okay, so to circle back to my thing, so the other piece of that, because I feel like for this fella, yeah, I can see everything y'all are saying. Now, the nice guy thing that I'm talking about is like I went out. This was like April, I think. Like this guy, we had been like chatting on the phone or whatever, doing a little texting, no big deal, and like he was acting like he was interested, and it was cool, it was fine, and he kept trying to hang out. I was busy, I was moving, all of that, and so finally we go to dinner, and when I tell you this man asked me 0 questions about myself, just talked about himself the whole time and answered my questions because I know how to make conversation, but never turned, not even, like how easy it is to be like, oh, I'm going to say, no, also that. But if I'm like, oh, Todd, like what kind of movie do you like? Da da da. And so you answer, be like, oh, well, what do you like? Like just even the same question turned back around, not even once.
But that's not.
And I'm like,
guy, CTG.
I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think, but he was kind to me in other ways. But when it got time to be in person, it was just like either you just have no social skills, no personality, or like you said, you're not a nice guy. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what is el problema?
I think a lot of nice guys cover their insecurities with being nice, and they use niceness as credit to kind of get them social standing, especially with women, because like maybe they have money, maybe they don't, but I can open this door, I can slide this chair out, and that'll fucking get me in some doors that other people won't, because like there are plenty of men who won't do that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, a little money.
Being nice is like a character trait.
I mean,
any to build the perfection. Nice. Well, no, because you don't like everybody doesn't have to be nice, but if we're talking about dating, right? Like the holding the door, that that chivalry part of it has to also be a part of you. You can be nice and have no personality.
Right.
You can be nice, you can be good looking and not have a personality and not be
very,
nice.
very true.
Baby, there are so many of those.
Yeah, it's just finding
so many of those.
Understanding who you are and how you want to treat people. That's it. It's just having that balance of going how I want to be treated and how I should treat people. And I also have personality. I talk and I say vulgar things all the time, and I can be very coarse in the way that I speak. But at the same time, I can go out to dinner with anybody and just having a very enjoyable time. I know how to speak to a woman. I know how to speak to a man. I know how to just enjoy being in someone's company while not being a dickhead.
So do you think that the guy who I went out with was just not nice or just not socially
weird? An evil guy, but he's not a nice guy.
He's weirdo.
Yeah. I think it's socially awkward.
I think the key thing to look for in a nice guy is this shit genuine? Am I picking up vibes that everything coming is genuine? Does it feel genuine? Does it sound genuine? Or do his actions back up his words? Because body language and actions will sing when you're paying attention to those.
Very true.
It's more.
Ask me in an interview, I'm gonna give you the best fucking interview of your life. You know what
I'm saying? It's more though. Was he completely different in his texting than he was in person?
How did he land the date with you?
Yeah, then that's your fault.
How did he land the date with you? What was determining
I'm
factor for you?
Okay. Okay. See what I meant? There it is.
Well, there it is. Then you wouldn't expect. Well, I mean, if he met that expectation, then did it really fail? I'm just trying to figure this out.
B-Todd, you gotta clip that.
You know what? I'm sorry. Let me do. Okay, I guess, you know what? Because we got the money, on the phone, like we jokey joke, you know, like because I think I also was surprised. 'Cause I'm like, I would not have gone out with somebody who I didn't feel there was any sort of like vibe with. So I think on the phone, like we had good banter. It was a little comedy, a little, you know, because we're both Jamaican, and so we had things that we were talking about. And so I think it really threw me off actually that we got in person, and it was like, yo, we in person, and it was just like, what? Like it was nothing was there, yo. It was, and maybe it was a lack of chemistry also, but I distinctly remember feeling like this man has zero interest in who I am as a person. Yeah. But yet you are ready to make me your girlfriend. What?
What? Escort that gentleman out of that restaurant, reimburse you for your meal if he forced you to pay for yourself.
No, I ain't
let me know. We will come clean the streets for you, Miss CTG.
Yo, that's
I don't even know where he's at, yo.
The one takeaway that like I can say for both men and women from that text message though is this: when it comes to dating, and if somebody says I just don't think we have chemistry, fucking give up and leave it there. Okay, if somebody is bold enough to say, hey, I just don't think we have chemistry, there's literally nothing you can do about it, and arguing about it is a guaranteed strategy to be shown the exit. Like, nobody, male or female, wants to put up with someone. I don't get it. What do you mean we don't have chemistry? Didn't you think, what were this? I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Like, you're not going to force me to feel it. It's nothing you did wrong. Chemistry is something that's there or is not, and it didn't. So I would just say for anybody dating, if somebody tells you we don't have chemistry, I would just take that as
just let it go.
Money to the bank.
Let it go.
Anyways.
Actually, it kind of sounds like it's a withdrawal.
Bam! Miss CTG with slam to end the episode. We gotta wrap up, folks. Miss Chantel Cargill, would you like to give us your information? Where can people find out more about you? Where are you going to be next? Where can we check for you? You've been a fantastic guest. Applause, applause, applause.
Thank you.
Where can we find you?
I think I'm okay with you finding me on my social media outside of work. You know, I rather keep this on a more social like side of things.
Social media is fine. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm Mrs. MRI_S_Cargill on Instagram. You can follow me there. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm rarely on there. So you just search my name. And then I do work for, I do want to put another shameless plug. If you ever need therapy for anything, any of the topics we discussed today, or just you feel like you need some healing, look up thriveworks.com. It's the company that I work for. They're amazing. And I've had a good time.
It's going to be your next client.
It's all good. Like, come on, we need to have more deep conversations, Israel.
I need to figure out why quickies work for me so much.
But I've thoroughly enjoyed being on the show with you all today. Thank you so much for having me. Awesome topics. And whenever you need me again, come holler at your girl.
We will definitely have you back.
I got you.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a customary outro.
Thank you so much.
Great show today. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Leave us a review. Share us with your friends. Instagram @MancersPod. You can find us on YouTube, Mansers. We are the Toxic Podcast for a Better Tomorrow, and we will see you next week. God, I fucking love this song.